I'm Suzanne Sibylla. I'm the owner of Sibylla and Associates, which is the premier leadership and employee development company. Overcome obstacles, reframe your reality, love life, and have growth goals. Change and shift your energy. Pivot. Hi, I'm Suzanne Sibylla, your host of Pivot Now, where we bring on interesting, exciting, and dynamic guests who will share with us their tips, tricks, and life and business hacks to help you pivot in your life. I am so excited to bring this guest on our show. Oh my gosh, you're going to love her. And you got to watch our show all the way to the end, folks, okay? All the way to the end, because she's going to be dropping a lot of gold nuggets and great, fabulous tips. So let me tell you about her. She is a Master Certified Neurocoach, an entrepreneur, an investor. Oh my gosh, she's amazing, right? She's absolutely amazing. And a sought after consultant. Welcome to our show, Carol Register. Woo! Let's bring her on. Let's bring her on to our show. Carol, oh my gosh, there she is.
Hi, Suzanne.
Snap, 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 right?
Right.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being on our show. We really appreciate you. And we're going to talk about, wow, how to pivot your finances to pivot your life. So tell us about that.
Yes, I am so excited. I am a financial strategist, as you mentioned, a serial entrepreneur, and I teach over 40 principles of wealth along with the neuroscience process that I use so that no matter where you're at on your wealth journey, you can have heart-centered, aligned wealth, that full abundance with fulfillment and joy that you deserve. Because I work with people on all sides of the spectrum who have wealth and are miserable because it is not what brings us happiness, and who are striving for wealth, thinking that that will get them the happiness that they want. The truth is, you absolutely can have your cake and eat it too. And it's happening every single day.
Wow, I love it. I love it, especially when you said heart-centered. So tell me a little bit more about that. Tell us a little bit more. How do you become more heart-centered and attract the wealth?
Well, it's such a great question because people think about neuroscience, they think just about thinking, right? But neuroscience is the study of the whole nervous system. It is not just the brain. And we know that the subconscious is in our body as well as in our brains. And so we're integrated beings. And when we're talking about being heart-centered, I love the quote by JFK when he said, "A rising tide raises all boats." So when we go to elevate in any one area of our lives, we're actually elevating in all areas. We're connecting our mind, our thoughts, and our emotions, our heart. And that's what forms our beliefs, actually. So, yeah.
So true. I love this. I really love this because this is what I talk about and actually coach my clients is about mindset, because I believe 90% of it is mindset, right? In order to get the results, you got to have the proper mindset. So how do you go about doing that with your clients?
Well, you know what? We really lean into identity. I have a 4-step simple neuroscience process that I use, but you have to have that foundation of identity. It's the rock that you're building on, because you can do all the mindset work in the world, but if you really don't go to the core, to the root of who you are and that you're deserving and worthy, then, you know, it's built on shaky ground, right? Yeah. And so it's a very much an integrative process that I use with my clients to help them know who they truly are. And I often say, I got this from my mentor who has her PhD in neuropsychology, who I'm certified through. we don't look at a baby in a crib and say, you're not valuable, kid. You're not doing anything yet.
So true. So true.
No, even if the child's not our own, or even if it's a puppy or a kitten, that baby has value. So we have this heart instinctiveness of knowing that we arrived on this earth with value. We all did. But along the way, we start to believe the lies that tell us that we are not valuable, that we're not enough, we're not worthy, we're not deserving. And this goes really to the root of who we are. And I hear a lot of confusion about that right now. A lot of people are talking about this subject, and some of the things I've heard are, who are you? It's this, it's that. I've heard it described as skills, as strengths, as values, as, all these different things we do, education even, but it isn't any of those things. It is really our inherent value. And then all of these other things get built on it.
I love this. This is hearts and fire. Hearts and fire, what you just said right now, Carol, because I think that's so true. A lot of times, especially in our culture and our society, we're all about doing, right? Accomplishments and achievements. And I see that with my son. He's a high schooler. And it's so much pressure on our kids right now, right? It's like, oh, you got to take, like in high school, oh, you got to take AP classes. Oh, you got to take honors classes. Oh, you want to go off to college. This is what you got to do. You got to get a 4.0. No, you got to get a 4.5 GPA. Oh, you got to take the SAT. Oh, you got to take ACT, right? It's just so much
you got to get your baccalaureate, your IB, your dual enrollment,
So much pressure on our kids nowadays. And it's all about achievement. And instead of like being, right?
Yeah.
About being instead of doing. And I love that you said that is that inherent value of being worthy because of who you are.
It's so interesting because we are creators. We do want to be productive, and everything does start with a thought. The thought always fires before the emotion. It happens within microseconds, though. And the thing is, our thoughts are things. They are energy. And if you look around, everything you see other than nature, other than, the mountains and the oceans, we didn't create those, but everything else that you see started with a thought. For example, the chair you're sitting in, somebody thought it, somebody had it drawn up, somebody went and decided the materials it was going to be made of. Somebody went and decided how it was going to be sold. It was put into a store and you purchased it and you now own it. It all started with somebody having an idea, a thought about that chair, right?
Yeah.
And
right.
so,
so
what happens then is
it's a good thought, right?
Right.
And it's a good chair.
And it's a good chair.
Yeah.
And so going to the core of who we are is really key to get out of what you were referring to as what I call, and my dad gave me this phrase, performance-based acceptance. So we put our value on the things we're doing rather than on what you were saying, our being. And the reason I bring up the part about thoughts is because talking about being integrated, knowing where we can start to do the work of prioritizing what we're learning about ourselves and our journey, the identity work, understanding the power and control we have over thoughts and emotions, which form our beliefs. That then affects our decisions, which affects our actions, which affects our results. So when you're looking at all the pressure and the stress of I have to do more, you can start to say, okay, I'm overwhelmed. I'm frustrated. This is distressful. I'm not in joy and in heart-centered alignment. These are the results I'm getting. what actions am I taking that's leading to these results? What decisions am I making that's leading to these actions, that's leading to these results? And then going back further, what am I believing? What am I feeling? And what am I thinking about things? And coming at it from a premise of, instead of I have to do stuff in order to, I have to have stuff in order to do stuff to be somebody. I can lean into being, and from there my doing comes, and the have flows naturally.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Another heart, another fire for that. That is yes, 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 100%, 1,000% yes. So true, right? Because again, a lot of times we base our value on doing and accomplishments, and we have to look back on what's behind that. That we are enough the way we are, right? We are enough. Wow. Very profound and very insightful, because it's so contrary, if you will. It's so opposite of what our culture and our society is all about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you go about creating that then? I mean, if this is what it's all about, being, how do we go about creating that?
Well, I definitely want to leave you with some quick wins today from, as particularly financially, from Principles of Wealth. But again, start with looking at your identity and considering that you arrived on this planet valuable. And that's your foundation, right? And then when you start to think about things, this is the deep work that I do with my clients in my year-long program. When you start to discover how to create from being instead of from doing, letting the doing happens, but the doing flows from that, it really changes everything. And for me, what it changed was that I stepped into knowing, and now what I help my clients do, to knowing that we have so much more power than we think we do. We really don't fully understand the power that we have. And through this process, we start to, I'm still having glimmers every day. And use the work that I teach. I use the tools, my neuroscience tools, every single day to create from being, and to know that I'm meant to do that. And you're meant to do that too. We have visions in our heart that we are meant and designed specifically to operate from. And so it's a journey to step into that. And I do teach a simple process. It is childlike simple, but it does take somebody to guide you through the process. And then as you get experienced in it, you can take those tools with you and, just like I am, use them for a lifetime.
So. Wow, that sounds fantastic. That sounds really fantastic. So I want to know, we have this part of our segment. It's called 3, 2, 1, go. So we want to hear from you. Give us 3 tips, 2 strategies, and 1 action item to pivot our lives forward.
Okay. Yes, I am so excited to do this. And I have, like I said, 40 principles of wealth, but I wrote down some here that I thought would be the most impactful for you. The first one absolutely is get clear on your vision. And we can have a clear vision, especially as leaders, CEOs, serial entrepreneurs. We know what it's like to have a vision and to see that fulfilled, but it can get blocked and cloudy with neurochemicals when obstacles arise and when old limiting beliefs come up, or even new limiting beliefs, or maybe the energy or the environment we're in. And all of a sudden we're like, wait, I was clear and now everything seems blocked. And this is where it's key to get clear on your vision. Have somebody have a process that you work with to get clear. And then from there, you can start to, declare your intentions and put it out there with gratitude and with the ask to the universe. So that's first. That's a really key quick win. Second is that, consider what the way you are thinking about things. Start to, as you take action, you'll have awareness of your limiting beliefs, because action is a bridge into the subconscious. Because every time we take action, our brains are going, hey, I'm not familiar with this. This is not safe. And we get uncomfortable because the brain's job is to protect that subconscious system. The brain and the body, the nervous system, wants to protect that subconscious system. And it does so by whatever's familiar and whatever patterns we have, even if they're faulty. So when we go to grow and up level and produce new things, create new things, then our brains are going to be giving us neurochemicals to say, no, this is not safe. I need to take you back over here. And that's where we get stuck, right? When you start to change the actions you're taking and the ways you're thinking, then you can really have key breakthroughs. So as you're taking new actions, pay attention to what's coming up. That's a bridge into your subconscious, your limiting beliefs. That's really important. Have awareness of what's wired in there that's holding you back, because you absolutely can change those beliefs. And I teach that in a number of ways. One is pay yourself first. Learn how to, as you're going along, start to just set that aside and pay yourself first. And it can be really simple, but it gives momentum, and it starts to break an old pattern, an old cycle. Even if you're doing $1, I mean, literally, it can be the smallest, most baby amount of changing a habit that you've had that's going to really transform everything if you will take that step, look at what's circulating in there, and just move forward in small ways, right? So the third one is that I teach a principle called Pearson's Law. It's often used with productivity. Now, these are immutable laws of the universe. They are not unique to me. They exist outside of me. So the exciting news is, however faulty I may be or great I may be, these principles still work, right? And they've been used over millennia. Pearson's Law was discovered by a man named Pearson, and it states, what you measure grows, what you measure and report grows exponentially. So I literally run challenges where you can increase your wealth in 15 minutes a day, and just DM me the word challenge. I will sit on with you. We will go through the process together, but it's measuring. It's really simple. Again, baby steps when you're starting a new habit. As you build over time, you will create a new neural network. And so just in 15 minutes a day, start looking at what's coming in, what's flowing out, what's coming in, what's flowing out. This helps you to be proactive with your finances. And the law states, the principle states, what you measure grows. What you measure and report grows exponentially. And I can give you solid examples of this used by some of the top companies in the world. So it absolutely works. And you may think, wait, you mean I don't need to go produce more? I don't need to go hustle more? I don't need to be doing a whole bunch more? No, just measure. That's it. Just measure.
I love that. Yeah, so true. So important as well, right? Because a lot of times we don't measure things, and it is so important. And I like that you talked about taking small steps, right? Because I see that with a lot of my clients too. When we talk about changing a habit, for example, a morning routine, and I'll ask my clients, so do you have a morning routine? And they'll say, well, no, not really. Or I go right to my phone. That's their first morning routine, right? They go right to their phone, they text messages, or they go to email and they start emailing, and they're all into their computer, right? And I said, well, wait a second, let's shift that And how about you drink a glass of water when you wake up and you focus on like breathing. We'll do a breathing exercise. And
Yeah.
you do that like 5-10 minutes during your day, like in the morning, right? And they're like, wow. And they start to change that habit. And so that they're not looking at their phone initially, because again, a lot of
Yeah.
times on your phone, you're like scrolling through social media and you're like going, oh my gosh, FOMO, I guess I'm
Yeah.
missing out, right? And you're like, and then you're seeing the news and it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on in the world? And so,
Yeah.
right. So it's just starting to shift that behavior. And they're like, wow, I can do that. I just do that like 5-10 minutes during the day. Right when I
I
wake up,
love
get
it.
a glass of water and I start to shift my behavior. And then it shifts the mindset, right? So I love that you talked about that, like taking
Yeah.
those small action steps can make the
Yeah.
bigger impact. Because a lot of times we think, oh, I got to do the bigger ththings, right?
Yeah.
I got to save all this money, or I got to have, all this, or, put in a
Yeah.
401k, or, do a, investment strategy, or I got to buy these properties or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But you got to start off small.
It's so true. And, it's interesting because a lot of times we're picking up that phone because of the dopamine hit.
Yep.
And so we're starting to replace the dopamine hit with something that's positive and healthy. And a lot of times when we're avoiding our finances, this is what I'm going to be talking about in an upcoming masterclass, is we're not, we don't have any dopamine hit, any reward. So why in the world am I going to go do that? It's like, I'm just not experiencing the reward. So learning how to build those rewards in, and work with the way our brain and our nervous systems are wired is so essential. So I love that you do that in those small steps, just going to get a drink of water and just shifting the pattern in really gentle ways that show us what's possible is really powerful.
Yeah, shifting the pattern, definitely shifting the pattern. So those were your 3 tips. What are your 2 strategies to pivot forward?
Well, interestingly enough, you can absolutely use these tips as strategies. I would say pay yourself first is a big one. That's another very gentle one. It doesn't have to be a large amount. And then just measuring in some way. And it does not mean going and doing some kind of sophisticated accounting system. Now, if you're at that level and you're to take that step and holding back, great. If you're not, I don't care if you're doodling on a napkin. Get in a group with people who are willing to do this with you, be in the energy of a group like Suzanne's, like mine, where we are there to support you, walk alongside you, do it with you, is an energy that is so important. So you can actually use both of those as strategies as well.
Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. So one action item to pivot our lives forward.
One action item to pivot your life forward is really consider what your limiting beliefs are. And this was another tip that I gave you. When you want to do something, you're meant for more. You know that you're not experiencing that heart-centered alignment that you know in your gut you're meant to have. It's really taking some easy steps to start to pause, be still, and listen. And just listen to your heart and your intuition. You can free write. A lot of people like to do that. It's like where you don't have an agenda. You're just writing, and things that are in your heart will begin to come out. Pay attention to your desires. They're there for you, for a reason, for you to live your happiest life. So
I love that. I love that. Again, a fire and heart, fires and heart. Love that so much, Carol. So where can we find you and how can we connect with you?
Listen, I would love for you to jump in and grab your free wealth activation and just, sign up for the masterclass. I'm doing a Heal Your Money Stories masterclass. It is a Facebook event. You can find me under Carol Register. It's on June 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to talk about those things that come up, like avoiding, like, money doesn't grow on trees, living from scarcity and lack, living from a fear of losing it all or not feeling capable or worthy. So we're going to dive deep into these things, and I'm going to give you some key tips so that you can heal these limiting money stories. So June 7th at 1 p.m. And I'm going to give you the link for the free wealth activation. Grab that and bring that with you when you come into the masterclass. So you don't have to, but if you want to, that'd be great.
Yeah, sounds fantastic. I love it. So June 7th, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And
that's right.
You'll learn all about this, right? And changing your belief system to manifest wealth. I love it.
Right.
Love it.
Anything
else you want to add?
Yeah, I just want you to know that you matter, that everything you want is absolutely possible. You are here to create what you want in a better world. And we get surrounded by the obstacles and the circumstances. There are real answers and solutions for you. And I just want you to know that, because you matter.
I love it. Love it. Thank you so much for being on our show. We greatly appreciate you, Carol.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it too.
Yeah. And thank you for watching. This was fabulous. We love it. And we're here every Tuesday, 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And we're also doing a group. I'll be doing a group as well. And it's all about mastering your mindset. So how to pivot your life and master your mindset, reframe your reality, overcome obstacles, having a vivid vision, loving life, and setting growth goals. And so we're starting a new group in a couple of weeks. So you can join us as well. You can text me. You can email me at Suzanne, SUZANNE, at Sibilla, SIBILLA, coaching.com. Live life abundantly. Pivot now. Change and shift your energy. Pivot